What next for interest rates and property prices in 2024? That's what we're going to cover in this video, so stay tuned for more. If you're new to this channel, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell icon. We put out 3 videos each and every week, all dedicated to keeping you on top of your property investing game. So the Bank of England Monetary Policy Committee met today, 21st of March, and they decided to keep interest rates on hold at 5.25%. Now, this decision was pretty much what the markets and pundits were all expecting. But what does it mean for interest rates as we progress into the latter half of 2024? What does it mean for buy-to-let mortgage rates? And what does it mean for UK property prices? Now let's take a look at interest rates first of all. You can see from this graph here that UK interest rates are already among, well, the highest of any of the leading G7 economies. So that I don't think there was a case for ever increasing interest rates. But the economic data that's coming out and the market sentiment is definitely that this is the peak and interest rates will be on a downward trajectory. Now, we all know that the UK pretty much follows and mirrors what happens in the US. Now, the US Federal Reserve has gone a little bit further in making clear what their direction of travel is. They put out an announcement saying that they're going to reduce rates there by 0.75% by the end of the year. And you can see from this article in the FT that news announcement sent US stock prices rallying upwards, reaching record highs. So of course we do mirror what happens in the US, but that has to be backed by economic data of what's happening here in the UK. And the key thing to look at is what's happening with inflation. Of course, the Bank of England has a target rate for inflation, which is 2%. And just a couple of years ago, inflation in the UK was running at double digits, which is why interest rates had to be increased so much and so fast. But you can see from this chart here, inflation has come down now to a rate of 3.4%. And there's the expectation that consumer inflation is going to fall further during the course of this year. And some experts are even predicting that we will actually hit the 2% inflation target. Now, people get a bit carried away talking about inflation. Now, what we are talking about is the rate at which prices increase has fallen. But prices have gone up dramatically. So my bet is that in the later part of the summer here in the UK, we'll start to see interest rates cut. I reckon we'll probably see 2 cuts this year, which will bring it down to 4.75% and possibly a further 0.25 point sometime next year. But let's take a step back and just have a think about what this all means. Now, inflation is, of course, the rate at which prices increase. It was very, very high just a couple of years ago. So the Bank of England's tool for sorting this out is to use interest rates. By raising interest rates, what they do is they suck out money from the economy, which limits the amount people can spend in the economy and has a dampening effect on prices, therefore reduces the rate of inflation. That's the theory, but it's a very, very blunt instrument, particularly with so many people on fixed rate mortgages now. It takes quite some time for interest rate hikes to actually have an effect in the economy. And that also means there's a lot of lag. So interest rates increasing last year will have a time lag effect and only start to kick in for some people in terms of what they've got to spend this year. So there are a lot of people trying to put a positive spin on the inflation figures of 3.4%. I saw this report that made me laugh from out-of-touch Tory MP Andrea Loathsome. She says that the cost of living crisis is ending and that people have cheered up now that inflation is down to 3.4%. Now that just shows that she's either completely incompetent or clueless or just lying through her teeth trying to put a positive spin on something that really isn't a positive spin. The price of everything has gone up over the last couple of years and those prices have not gone down. That cost of living crisis is built in to the economy. The fact that the rate of inflation is now 3.4% just means that the rate of increases in prices has come down a little bit, not that any prices are actually falling. Now, as they say, you can really tell when prices of things are going up when your local funeral director blames cost of living crisis for increasing their prices. Now let's have a peek at what's going to happen with buy-to-let mortgage rates and also property prices here in the UK. But first, let me tell you about the Baker Street Property Meet. Our meeting this month is Tuesday, 26th of March in central London. It's the UK's largest property investors networking meeting where 300 property investors meet up each month. Join us. We've got a few places left. You can get your ticket at bakerstreetpropertymeet.com. So for buy-to-let mortgage interest rates, you can see that the market has already factored in the fact that rates are going to come down in the latter half of this year. That is particularly evident when you look at fixed rate deals that are to be had, particularly for 5-year fixed rate mortgages. But for what it's worth, if you're looking at a fixed rate product right now, I think 2-3-year fixed rates are probably worth going for if you have to make a decision now. But if you can hold off for a few months, then I think they're going to be better 5-year fixed rate deals just in a few months' time than you can get right now. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also smash that like button, it helps us out on YouTube, and share this video with people you think will be interested. Property prices then. Well, the average property price in the UK is now at £282,000. In springtime, we usually see a little bit of a bounce as the market generally gets a little bit moving. We got some data here, a graph from Rightmove, which shows that asking prices are up 1.2% in the year to February 24. And the Nationwide Building Society has also reported a little bit of growth at 1.2%. So what we have is prices nudging a little bit up at the moment, and that's with interest rates and mortgage rates being what they are today. Remember, we have a little bit of UK wage inflation in the economy. That's running at around 6.1%. We also have a couple of rate cuts that are coming in the latter half of 2024. All this is going to mean that property becomes a little bit more affordable, particularly in terms of getting a mortgage to pay for it. And with the general shortage of property out there, and of course with so much new building slowing down so much as we come into an election year, there are massive shortages out there. So I only see property prices going up, not by a lot this year, but certainly gathering a little bit of pace next year as long as the economy holds out. So the way I look at it is like this: if you've made it till now, you've actually survived through the hardest of times that we've had in recent years. We've seen rampant inflation, we've seen rocketing interest rates, we've seen cost of everything going up. So if you're doing building works, for example, the cost of materials would have increased 30-40% just within the course of your refurbishment project. Now that sort of change and uncertainty has settled down so much now. So if you've survived all that, things are only going to get better going forward, particularly over the next 12 months. So that's it for this update. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know below. See you guys in the next video. The Baker Street Property Meet is the UK's largest and #1 property investors networking event. The property market is going through monumental change right now, and at Baker Street Property Meet we aim to keep you up to date with the latest tips and tricks and insider tactics to help you keep on top of your property investing game and succeed in these troubled economic times. The Baker Street Property Meet is fundamentally about networking, because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And at Baker Street we aim to connect you with the people to make your property journey a monumental success. There's no better place to be to further your property investment journey than the Baker Street Property Meet. So make sure you're here, you're connecting with myself and Andrew Roberts, our expert guest speakers, and 300 passionate property people each and every month. See you at the next meet. Get your spot at bakerstreetpropertymeet.com.